and that's just not the Mo that we're used to seeing. But we look at the community predictions, and the community is still backing him. Everyone is still very impressed and knows that Mohamed Light has what it takes to make a lower bracket run, as he always does. Josh, take us into this game number 1 versus Mo and Pedro.
That's right. First round of the lower bracket. One of these players will be sent home, and that's always disappointing when you look at the players that we're seeing right now. Mo Light going against Pedro. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left in the game. Nothing too crazy happening so far. Mo Light just going again with the cycle. Pedro using what we kind of expected to see before the day started. But Mo Light using cycle. How do you feel about him not adjusting and using the heavier decks?
You know, it's interesting. I agree that it's weird. I do think that it makes sense to play with what you're comfortable with. I also do think Princess at the bridge in general is a great thing in the meta right now. So, you know, I think there's some merit to it, but it is a little weird to see less beatdown from Mo right now. And let me elaborate a little bit on the Princess bridge. And it just goes back to the fact that Dagger Duchess is so overpowered and it's so good in the meta. You Princess the bridge, whatever your opponent plays onto that Princess, the Dagger Duchess cleans it up for free. So it does make sense to see that at the very least.
Yeah, we actually have 2 different answers, because as soon as you said that, I was going to say, basically my thought process is I love Princess at the bridge so much in this meta, because so many cards are 3, 4, 5 elixir, and so you immediately have to waste it at the bridge, and then it has to follow. So that's 2 different reasons as to why the Princess at the bridge is so good. So yeah, I guess that's definitely not something that I was thinking of previously, and I really like that point that you said.
Yeah, and then Evo Skeletons to pair with that as well. I mean, look at these Evo Skeletons go crazy. Pedro probably using either Void Arrows or Lightning Arrows in this deck, so Evo Skelly is a great pick here. I also love the fact that Mo saved those Evo Skeletons for the Evo Knight in this matchup. The Evo Skellies are a great counter Evo Knight, and it can be difficult to defend it unless you match that cycle.
And so my favorite thing about watching Mo Light play is he can make a mistake, and then as a commentator, I'm thinking, okay, the reason why he did this is because he knows something that we don't. So he placed a really low Tesla, and the Giant was able to pull, and my immediate reaction is like, oh, that's a mistake. But now I'm thinking, because he's going against Giant, he's going to have to stack multiple Teslas at points. So I wouldn't be shocked if he was doing that on purpose. Right there, Pedro going to be running the Lightning version instead of the Void version. I like using non-Void cards right now. I like the Lightning version, I have to say.
Yeah, I think the Lightning version definitely, I mean, even could be slightly better than the Void version, especially in the competitive meta that we have here. Another thing I want to mention once again, that this is the first time we have seen a big spell drop, and we still have not seen Mohamed Light use his main win condition. The Princess at the bridge is the main damage here. It's just very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job of getting that chip and just applying pressure, not allowing Pedro to set up the pushes that he wants to do. Pedro right now finally has a giant push, but again, Mo Light has placed so many different troops at the bridge that he really can't set up anything all that great. And can he protect his princess in time? He will. That's going to force out just more responses, and he is doing a beautiful job. I think it's Sir Tag CR who says the Princess Protection Program right there. That's exactly what Mo Light is doing. A great game so far from him.
And I gotta mention again, I love casting with you because we both just nerd out on the game together. But once again, we see a bunch of lightning value here. And like you said earlier, to the naked eye, that's a big mistake. But he's baiting out the lightning so that he can cycle back to Tesla and then have a defense where he doesn't have to worry about the lightning at all. And it makes it look very easy here.
Yeah, right here, 22 seconds left. I mean, 900 HP separating the two players. He's going to have to think of something, but I just don't think it's going to matter. This is not an easy matchup. I don't care how it looks to the viewer's eyes. This is not easy from him, and he is just controlling the board the entire game. Pedro looking a little bit disgusted, and for good reason. That was a gorgeous game from Mo, and he's going to take a game number one just like that. How are you going to go against a player who's running minor poison and he doesn't miner until 2 seconds left.
And then still have the community predict 87%, I think it was, of him winning the next match. Like I said last month, I am honestly convinced at this point that Mohamed Light loses the first round on purpose just to show off more in the lower bracket.
And it works. He gets us excited every time. So I love that he does that. It's a joy to watch. Thank you, Mo. And as we head into game number 2, Pedro going to be running Valk, Inferno Dragon. We could be seeing Lava potentially. Lava is really good in the meta. And I don't really know what else it would be. I guess it could be Mortar. That would be my guess right now. This is interesting. And this is a lot of chip damage. I mean, Molite could already have this game pretty much locked up just because we know Molite. He's not going to mess up a defense. This is an impossible situation for Pedro right now. I would feel terrible if I was him.
Okay, you were right about the mortar. Okay, wait, Goblin's the middle. He gets the perfect timing. He gets the King Dart Evasion. You can see Pedro touch his forehead there a little bit. I mean, if I was right about Pedro having Graveyard here, this game is over, like you said. I mean, Mohamed got the damage lead at the beginning with the Monk ability just being so strong. And now he's got the King Tower activated with the Goblins perfectly timed. One of the most difficult timings in the game. And if Pedro is using Graveyard, there's no chance of breaking through with the King.
Yeah, this is just brutal to watch, and really, this is something to look at. I'm pretty sure Pedro got swept in his round, in his first round, so I think this is 2 sweeps, 0-2, 0-2, if he's not able to make a comeback here.
Mortar to the bridge yet again from Mohamed Light. Goblin surround on the Royal Ghost to make sure the splash damage is not hitting every Goblin. Defensive Mortar here does actually hit the Evil Firecracker. If this Evil Fire gets a shot, it is going to hit the left side tower, though. And now the tower is nearing and now below 1,000 HP.
Yeah, and of course it gets that last shot. Everything going wrong from Pedro. And I mean, really, what is there to even talk about at this point? I mean, Pedro, how do you win this at this point is my guess. I mean, try and win the bridge battle and get a mortar is his guess, but the defensive mortar coming out from Molite, this is clean and exactly what you need to do if you're Mo.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit anticlimactic, but I mean, this gameplay for Mo is just perfect, and it is tough to break through. I mean, look at the Monk ability once again, deflecting the Evo back to the Evo, taking out the mortar. Inferno Dragon not really getting there. And Pedro, definitely one of the best mortar players in the world. He knows how to continue to apply pressure here, but Mohamed Light's defense is unmatched.
And right there, able to pop the ability in time, perfect timing, actually. So really like what he did there. We could see some potential go in, and Molite finally forced to go in on offense. Good arrows value to take out the mortar and get a little bit of chip. But, I mean, Pedro doing everything we could possibly ask for him. And you know he has to be so frustrated that he gave up so much damage because he's putting on a clinic in these final couple minutes of this game.
Honestly, you're so right. He's really tried everything to make this comeback, and he's going to continue to try as Mohamed Light doesn't have a big spell to finish this one out entirely. But at this point, really, he's just hoping for a massive Inferno Dragon lock on tower. But I don't see Mo allowing that to happen.
Yeah, we're going to see a snowball on top of the Firecracker plus the mortar. This is good potential for chip if the mortar doesn't target the Goblins. We could see something. And yeah, now that we're in triple elixir, we're going to see just cycle on top of the tower. And it's going to be hard to stop, especially if that Goblin gets a shot. It doesn't. Okay, there's still potential for him to be able to come out with the victory, as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, the one thing, though, that we mentioned earlier is just that the King Tower's activated.